Cathy, your hands are so gentle. His voice was hoarse. I still vividly remember that moment when he buried his face in my chest, breathing heavily. Do you want something more special? My voice was as sweet as honey. Under the red glow of the lamp, the man's face twisted with desire. With each button of my blouse that I unfastened, his gaze grew more intense. Yes, please. From the next booth came the sounds of Stella mixed with laughter. In those days, we were on top of the world. In a single day, dozens of men passed through our hands, leaving behind stacks of cash. Every touch on my body added another bill to the register, but there was something strange about it. The money piled up, but my soul felt emptier and emptier. Hello. Before we begin, please subscribe to the channel and hit the like button. Thank you, my name is Cathy. I'm 62 now, but back then, I was a 30-year-old single mother. To raise 2 children, I needed money. At a regular hair salon, I couldn't earn even $1,000 a day, but here my daily earnings could reach $300. Of course, there was guilt, but the money for baby formula was more necessary. And then one day, I just need a haircut. Those were the first words of the man who walked into the salon. He looked to be about 40. He seemed neat and intelligent. He was different from the others. Just a haircut? I asked with a slight smile. Usually at this point, the men would get flustered. Their gaze would cloud over, and they'd mumble uncertainly in response. But he was different. Yes, just a haircut. His voice was firm but gentle. And his gaze? How can I describe it? It was full of loneliness, real deep loneliness. I stood behind him and began to wash his hair. Warm water streamed between my fingers. Ah, he let out a soft moan. But it wasn't the kind of moan I was used to hearing from other men. It was like the sigh of a person who had suffered from thirst for a long time and finally reached water. My fingers glided gently through his hair. His shoulders trembled slightly. Are you okay? Yes, it's just that I haven't felt such warmth in a long time. Those words made my heart tighten. Strange. Hundreds of men had passed through my hands, so why only him? Stella glanced at me sideways. I think she noticed I wasn't acting like usual. After finishing washing his hair, he looked at himself in the mirror and said, "Thank you. Such a pleasant feeling of freshness." As he paid, he added, "Can I come back next week?" Just a haircut again. My heart beat strangely. Why? Yes, of course. Any time. When he left, Stella whispered to me, "Cathy, what was that?" Something felt off about that guy. I didn't know myself really, but from then on, he came every week and indeed only ever got a haircut. The strangest part was that I myself began to look forward to his visits. There was something in him that other clients didn't have. And now, at 62, looking back, I understand that that choice completely changed my life. Grandma, are you comfortable? Now, in 2025, I'm 62, and I gently wash the gray hair of an elderly lady in my salon. Silver Strand Salon. Oh, Cathy dear, your hands are angelic. The wrinkled hand of the old lady squeezed mine tightly. There was warmth in her touch, and now I know that this warmth is of a completely different kind than that former one. I look in the mirror and see that my face too is covered with deep wrinkles. But my gaze is much calmer now than it was back then. Sometimes I suddenly remember those times. I was 28, a single mother of 2. My husband started drinking after his business failed and left home. Cathy, how are you going to feed the children? My mother's worried voice still rings in my ears. I had no choice. At a regular hair salon, I couldn't earn even $100 a day and I couldn't afford baby formula. But after I started this work, Cathy, how much did you make today? Stella would ask, her eyes gleaming. It was the mid-90s. $500? Wow, that's amazing. $500 a day. In those days, that was huge money. In a month, I could earn 10, even 15,000. I could buy my children nice clothes, feed them well. That was all that mattered. That was the only reason I held on. But at night, after putting the children to bed, I would look at myself in the mirror and cry, "Is this really my life?" After wiping off my lipstick and washing off the bright makeup, I saw only the face of an exhausted woman in the mirror. Stella was different. She seemed to truly enjoy this work. Cathy, look, the men are happy next to us and we're making money. Isn't that right? She was right, but something inside me remained empty. And then Peterson appeared. At first, I thought he was just a strange client, but after several visits, he said, "Cathy, There's something special about your touch. It's truly calming. At that moment, my heart began to race. It was a feeling I had long forgotten. The feeling that someone saw me as a person. Stella noticed too. Sister, you act differently with this man. And she was right. With other clients, it was just a service, but with him, I felt real emotions. On the days he visited, I would unconsciously wear brighter makeup, behave more gently. Did you have a hard day? I asked him once, a question I had never asked anyone else. How did you know, Cathy? His gaze softened. I think it all started then. I began to fall in love with him, but I had no idea how much this love would change everything. I didn't suspect what difficult decision I would have to make because of it. It was autumn of 1997. 6 months had passed since Stephen Peterson first came to our salon. He came every Thursday at 3 p.m. as precise as a clock. Cathy, just the sound of his voice when he walked through the door made my heart stop. Please come in, I was waiting for you. Waiting. Why did I say that? I never said such words to other clients. Stella, standing nearby, chuckled. Cathy, you're so easy to read. That day, Stephen Peterson looked somewhat dejected. His shoulders were slumped more than usual. Did something happen? I asked, wetting his hair. Trouble at work. A government employee, a department head as he called it. If you want, you can tell me about it. My fingers glided gently through his hair, working up a white lather of shampoo. I've never told anyone about this before. He looked at my reflection in the mirror. At that moment, a spark seemed to jump between us. Actually, it's not about work. My wife, she died 3 years ago. When I come home, it's so quiet. So that's why he had such a lonely look. My hand naturally came to rest on his shoulder. That must be very hard for you. Cathy, you have such warm hands. I haven't felt such warmth in a long time. His voice trembled and my heart filled with heat. I'm alone too. Why did I say that? You shouldn't say such things to clients. Our eyes met in the mirror. For a long time. A very long time. Cathy? Yes? I'll come back next week. Yes, I'll be waiting. When he left, Stella gently nudged my shoulder. Well, Cathy, what's this? A real melodrama. What? It's obvious, and I think you like him too. Really? The next Thursday, when Stephen Peterson arrived, I felt that something had changed. Cathy, would you have time for a cup of coffee after work? My heart pounded. Thump, 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 thump. I don't want to pressure you. I just wanted to talk. Stella behind me gently pushed my back. Go, Cathy, I'll clean up here myself. So we met for the first time outside the salon. We sat across from each other in a small cafe, and I was terribly nervous. Cathy, how did you get into this line of work? He asked cautiously. It was clear that he wasn't judging, but genuinely curious. Because of the children. I had to feed them. That must have been hard for you. It was hard at first, but I got used to it. And you? Stephen Peterson. I like you, Cathy, and it doesn't matter what you do. At those words, tears welled up in my eyes. You can't just say things like that so easily. They're not just words, I mean it sincerely. His hand slowly moved across the table and gently covered mine. It was warm. Truly. Stella was right. It felt like a melodrama, but I had no idea what a dangerous ending this sweet beginning would lead to. It was spring of 2000. More than 2 years had passed since our first date. Cathy. His voice when he said my name sounded different than usual. Deeper, more insistent. Yes? I couldn't help but tremble. That day we met in the park. The lilacs were blooming. Stephen Peterson came up to me and said, Cathy, today I want to talk about something else. About what? At first, I really did come just for a haircut, but then I couldn't stop thinking about you. He turned to face me. About you, Cathy. About me. I want to spend this evening only with you. Is that okay? I understood what he meant. My heart began to race. I agree. That night I experienced true love for the first time. Not the kind from the salon, but the kind that happens with a person with whom you have a soul connection. It was in a modest hotel room. At first it was awkward. Cathy, are you nervous? Yes, very. Stephen Peterson put his hand on my shoulder. At that touch alone, a shiver ran through my whole body. I'm nervous too. It's been so long for me. He kissed me gently on the lips. It was nothing like with other men. Not hurried, not greedy, but the way you kiss someone you love. Can I take my time? He whispered. His hot breath touched my ear. Yes. His hands began to unbutton my blouse one by one. My heart was ready to jump out of my chest. You're so beautiful. How long had it been since I'd heard such words? When he kissed my shoulders, my neck, I didn't know how aroused I was. Ah! A soft moan escaped me. I was embarrassed, but I couldn't stop it. His hands slowly glided down my back. Goosebumps spread all over my body. How I had longed to be truly loved. Cathy, are you sure you're okay? Yes, I'm fine. When he laid me on the bed and hovered over me, I thought I would go crazy. It was so hot. Ah, Steve, oh God. At the moment we became one, I cried. Such warmth, such tenderness. When was the last time I felt this? He was also breathing heavily and calling my name. Cathy. We held each other tightly and made true love, not just with our bodies, but with our souls. Even after it was over, he continued to hold me. Thank you, Cathy. Thank you, I haven't had such a warm night in a long time. Neither have I. So this is what it is. Love of the soul, not of the body. But the next morning, I returned to reality. Cathy, something good happened. You're glowing. Stella looked at me suspiciously. And no, nothing. But apparently, I really did look different. Looking in the mirror, I saw that my face seemed brighter. However, when Stephen Peterson came a few days later, it was a little awkward. Cathy, last time, I felt very good, I said first, even though I was embarrassed. I felt very good too. Thus began our secret relationship, but I had no idea what a dangerous ending it would lead to. It was summer of 2003. Troubling news reports began to appear. Crackdown on prostitution intensifies. The news anchor's cold voice echoed through the salon. Stella gripped the remote tightly. Cathy, is this real? Probably just talk. But my voice trembled too. I was scared. After that, the news came one after another. Mass inspections of salons across the country, increased raids. There were noticeably fewer clients. Cathy, the atmosphere has been strange lately? Stephen Peterson asked with a serious face. Yes, a little. I hope you don't run into serious problems. Seeing his worried look, my heart clenched. For him, a government employee, this subject was especially sensitive. Everything will be fine, we're careful. That was a lie. In truth, I was very scared. And then came even more shocking news. Cathy, trouble! Stella rushed in, pale as a sheet. What? What happened? The salon, the Golden Comb, across the street. Last night, the police took them all away. My heart dropped. The Golden Comb was exactly the same kind of establishment as ours. Really? Yes, the owner and all the girls. Stella's voice trembled. From that moment, everything changed. My heart pounded at every sound at the door. The clients were scared too and stopped coming. Cathy, what if they come for us? Shh, don't say that. But I was trembling with fear myself. A few days later, the raids got even closer. Cathy, I think we need to find another job, Stella said, sobbing. Doing what? I don't know how to do anything else. But it's better than going to jail. She was right. But where else could I earn that kind of money? That day, Stephen Peterson came. He looked even more cautious than usual. Cathy, this must be very hard for you. Yes, honestly, I'm very scared. If it gets really dangerous, call me. I'll try to figure something out to help. They were kind words, but at the same time, I felt uncomfortable. If he, a government employee, got mixed up in this, Stephen Peterson, you be careful too. I don't want you to get into trouble because of me. What are you saying? Don't worry. But I saw worry flash in his eyes too. That night, Stella and I sat and talked. Cathy, what are you going to do? I don't know. I really don't know. Maybe we should move somewhere to the countryside, open a regular hair salon? What about the children's school? It was a hopeless situation. I had been doing this for more than 10 years. And now what? Start something else? And where would I earn that kind of money? A few days later, the decisive event happened. It was 2 a.m. I woke up to a knock at the door. Police, open up. Stella and I looked at each other. Is this the end? But it was only the beginning. The real hell started afterward. Police, open the door. We know you're in there. At that voice, I froze completely. Stella squeezed my hand tightly. We were both shaking. Cathy, what do we do? Quiet, maybe it will pass. But the knocking grew louder. Just a routine check. Open up. Finally, we had to open the door. Your documents and business license, please, a young police officer said coldly. Fortunately, that day, it was just a simple check. But we'll be coming by often now, and we advise you not to engage in anything illegal. It was a clear warning. When the police left, Stella collapsed onto the floor. Cathy, I can't do this anymore. I'm so scared. Stella, they'll catch us eventually anyway. And then what? A criminal record for life. Tears filled Stella's eyes. Over the next few days, not a single client came. The news that the police had visited us spread throughout the neighborhood. Cathy, I'm going home, Stella said a week later, packing her things. Stella, let's hold on a little longer. No, my mom is opening a small cafe in Miami. She's asked me to help, Stella sobbed. Cathy, come with me. What are you going to do here? But I couldn't leave. The children went to school here. I'm staying. I'll convert the salon into a regular hair salon. I'll get by somehow. Cathy, I'm sorry. I feel like I'm running away alone. Stella burst into tears. What are you saying? You're doing the smart thing. That was our last night together, Stella and me, after 3 years, and then an even bigger problem arose. Stephen Peterson. Cathy, I'm sorry, but I'm afraid we won't be able to see each other for a while, he said carefully. What? There are investigations at work into the personal lives of employees, especially those who visit places like this. Oh, I see. It's okay. I understand completely. Cathy, really, it's fine. Your job is more important. But my heart was breaking. Stella had left, and now Stephen Peterson. Was I completely alone? We'll meet again someday? I asked. He gently squeezed my hand. Yes, take care of yourself. And so I parted ways with Stephen Peterson. In September 2004, a law was finally passed increasing penalties for organizing prostitution. From that day, the real raids began. It was on the news every day. In a nationwide crackdown, dozens of owners and workers have been detained. I was truly scared. I quickly changed the sign. Instead of the golden comb, it became Cathy's Hair Salon. I removed the red lamps and made everything look like a regular hair salon. But of course, there were no clients. Everyone in the neighborhood knew what this place used to be. That's the same salon. I can't believe they're still open. I heard all the whispers behind my back. If 3 or 4 people came in a month, I couldn't even pay the rent. Cathy, maybe that's enough? Find another job? My landlord said with concern. I'll try a little longer, just a little more. But reality was merciless. I couldn't feed the children properly. I fell behind on the electricity bills. One night, the police came again. We've received a complaint. Are you still doing the old business? No, this is truly just a regular hair salon. But what could I say when there were no clients? In the end, I was taken to the station. Fortunately, they didn't catch me in the act, so they let me go. But that night, looking in the mirror, I sobbed. The business I had done for more than 10 years ended in one day. Where was Stella now? How was Stephen Peterson? Thus began 20 years of loneliness. But at the end of that long tunnel, an unexpected gift awaited me. From 2004 to 2024, 20 long years, I converted the salon into a regular hair salon, but reality was harsh. If 1 or 2 clients came in a day, that was lucky. Give me a perm, a trim, please. Only those kinds of clients. From each, I made maybe $30, maybe $50 at most. What I used to earn in a day, I now couldn't earn in a month. I felt ashamed in front of my children. Mom, when will you pay for my after-school program? Wait a little longer, son. Mom, soon. But I didn't know what to do. I tried to find other work. Cashier at a supermarket, waitress at a restaurant, cleaner, but for a woman over 40, there weren't many options. And the neighbors' glances were cold. That's the woman. You'd better be careful around her, or she'll teach your children bad things. I heard the whispers. The hardest part was the loneliness. Stella called sometimes from Miami, said her cafe was thriving. Cathy, I got married to the cafe owner. Congratulations, Stella. Cathy, come to Miami. I'll find you work. But I couldn't. Because of the children, I lost touch with Stephen Peterson. It must have been hard for him too, a government employee with such rumors. In 2010, the children became college students. Mom, I'll earn my own tuition. I'll work part-time. I'm sorry, I said. I felt terrible. I hadn't been a good mother to them. After that, the loneliness became even sharper. The children were busy. I had no friends. I sat in my empty salon all day, waiting for even one client. Around 2015, my health began to fail. My back hurt, my legs swelled. "Dear, are you okay?" One of my rare regular clients, an elderly lady, asked worriedly. "Yes, I'm fine." It was a lie. My body and my soul both hurt. In 2020, the pandemic began. I thought, this is definitely the end. Who would go to a hair salon when people were afraid to leave their homes? I barely survived on government assistance. Should I just close? The thought wouldn't leave me. But in the spring of 2024, I happened to walk past the senior community center and saw a notice. Volunteers needed to provide hair services to the elderly. I don't know what came over me. I walked in and signed up. At first, it was awkward. I had never volunteered in my life. "Ma'am, how would you like your haircut?" "Oh, thank you, dear. It's been so long since I've been pampered." At that moment, when I saw the elderly lady's bright smile, something warm stirred in my chest. "Your hands are so gentle. Thank you." "You're welcome, ma'am." That's when I understood. So this is another way my hands can be useful. They can make people happy. Before, clients came to me for a different reason. Now, these people accepted my help because they truly needed it, and they were genuinely grateful. From then on, I went to the center every week. The elderly men and women waited for me. For the first time, truly, for the first time, I felt that I was doing something good for someone. This wasn't work for money. It was from the heart. And when I found this new understanding, fate, as if by magic, brought us back together. It was March 2025. Working as a volunteer at the center had changed me greatly. Now I will help those who truly need it, I decided. With that thought, I changed my sign. Instead of Cathy's Hair Salon, it became Silver Strand Salon. I decided to specialize in elderly clients. "Ma'am, please come in." "Oh, so this is that famous place." Word from the senior community center had spread, and the elderly ladies began to come one after another. I didn't charge them much, $10 or $20, but my soul was much more at peace than before. One afternoon, the door opened and someone walked in. "Excuse me." At that voice, my heart stopped. I slowly looked up and saw him. An older Stephen Peterson. "Cathy, it's been 20 years. Tears flowed uncontrollably from my eyes. Time had changed him greatly, but his gaze remained the same, still warm, still so lonely. "Stephen Peterson, please sit down." Yes, of course." I don't know how much I was trembling. He was 66, I was 62. So much time had passed. "How have you been all these years?" "Hard, and you, Cathy?" "Very hard for me, too." We were honest with each other. There was nothing to hide now. "Cathy, the truth is, sometimes I watched you from afar, from around 2010 on. Sometimes I would walk past your salon, but I didn't have the courage to come in." "Is that so?" "And I sometimes thought about you. How were you? What happened to you?" "I'm sorry for breaking off all contact back then." No, I understand. There was no other choice." He gently took my hand. Even after 20 years, it was still so warm. "Cathy, there's something I never finished saying back then." "What?" "I loved you, Cathy. Truly." My heart froze. And I still feel the same way. A confession 20 years in the making. Stephen Peterson. I'm old now, and I'm not so afraid of what people think anymore. I think I can finally speak honestly. He smiled the same smile from 20 years ago. "I loved you too, Stephen Peterson, and I still do." Finally, I could say it. Confess what I had kept in my heart for 20 years. From that day on, Stephen Peterson came often. We cut hair, we talked. "Cathy, let's be together openly now." "Yes, let's do that." It was a late romance, a 62-year-old woman and a 66-year-old man, but it excited me more than when I was 20. What will the old ladies say? What does it matter what they say? At our age, what do we have to be shy about? Stephen Peterson laughed loudly, and it was true. Now I wasn't afraid of anything. In fact, the elderly ladies supported us. "Cathy, dear, you've found a good man. It's wonderful that you found each other, even if it's late." This was truly a new beginning. Having overcome the pain of the past, we began our love in the twilight of our lives. I cut the hair of the elderly ladies at Silver Strand Salon, and I'm happy with Stephen Peterson. The 20 years of loneliness now seem like a distant dream. Stella called from Miami to congratulate us. Cathy, congratulations. It's just like in the movies. Thank you, Stella. The children were happy too. Mom, be happy. You've suffered so much. Friends, life is truly unpredictable. Sometimes, in the darkest and most hopeless moment, the most beautiful gift may be waiting for you. If any of you are going through hard times now, as I once did, don't give up, because you have to live life to the end to find out what it has in store for you. I'm not bragging, but it seems the heavens are not forgetful. I always thought about what my value was. I held on, fought to the end, and in the end I found it. I know that many of you who watch this video will judge me. That's your right. Yes, I made mistakes. But now I am happy, and from now on, I will try to do as many good deeds as possible. And for true love, age doesn't matter. What matters is only what is in the heart. And at this very moment somewhere, a new story is beginning. Your story too. Come to my Silver Strand salon. I'll give you a beautiful haircut and tell you many good stories. Be happy. Thank you so much for watching to the end. If you want to continue listening to deep stories about life's twilight, please subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, and support me with a like. Every click of yours gives me enormous strength to create new videos. This has been a channel about love that blooms late and about the loneliness and courage that every one of us can experience.